Let's do another MyRise concept. This time, I'm thinking I want to go for something a little bit topical. We're going to start out the MyRise with you being in the crowd watching Stone Cold versus The Rock from WrestleMania 17. I don't know if it would be like the full match or anything, but just like a cutscene. We jump ahead to modern day, and you are in the WWE. You're officially a member of NXT. We'll do a little training, like a tutorial level, I guess, basically, here with Braun Breaker. But we're not going to worry about doing any kind of time on the indies or anything for this one. You're just already in NXT and good to go and training. I would like to be able to customize all of the different training gear for everyone, but who knows if 2K would let us do anything like that. Anyways, on NXT, you are pretty much middle of the pack and you're just kind of powering through. I assume popular babyface, but I don't think they need to necessarily enforce that. You're in the middle of feuding with the, what are they called? No Quarter Catch Crew. And your last opponent for them is going to be Damon Kemp. You do have to defeat Damon Kemp, but no offense to Damon, that's probably not a big surprise to anyone. I would like if there could be some kind of like programmable interference and run-in spots from the other member of the No Quarter Catch Crew, but who knows if they're going to be in the game or anything like that, so we won't make that like a required part of the MyRise story. You just gotta beat them. Make sure that you're good at the game enough to keep going and beat Damon Kemp before we throw you in to what's coming up next, which is your official main roster call-up. Backstage, Shawn Michaels comes up. He explains that Triple H really is impressed with how well you've been doing and that he's ready to bring you up to the Monday Night Raw roster. I would like to be able to make it a branching option, but even if so, the story doesn't really progress until we get to Raw, so I'm just going to go ahead and jump forward and talk about your first feud on Raw, which is going to be with Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. This is just a little mini feud, basically welcoming you to Raw and everything. On commentary, they're going to talk about how, it's the Raw after WrestleMania. It's a big deal. Everyone's so excited about what surprises they're going to be, like yourself, who debuted on the show. Commentary also talks about how Roman Reigns lost the Undisputed Universal Championship to Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania, and how the Bloodline has been on a warpath since he lost. That's going to be important because after winning the match, you are actually their next target. At first, you're able to kind of hold them both off because you're just that cool and everything. You're going to fight off Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso, who are running amok. But eventually, the numbers game does catch up. You just had a match and everything else. Commentary talks about how it's your first night, and this is not the best way that you wanted to show up and make an impact. But this is an important part of where we're going. Due to their attack on you, you're going to end up fighting Jimmy Uso at WrestleMania Backlash, and due to interference and distractions from the Bloodline, you actually lose this match. I've got it here that it's by a roll-up. I think that makes the most sense. And it's going to really, really drive everything going forward because Jimmy Uso's going to get gapped. This leads us to Extreme Rules, where you're going to fight Solo Sikoa in a no-holds-barred match, and on the same show, Cody Rhodes defends against Roman Reigns, who's using his rematch clause. Now, with it being Extreme Rules, you know that the Bloodline is going to interfere, so you run interference backstage, and you're especially going to make sure that Jimmy Uso can't get to him. I think it'd be cool if it was like Jimmy Uso can't reach a certain part of the backstage area without losing. Here's him going into a light just for a little bit of fun. But you do just stop Jimmy Uso. After stopping Jimmy Uso, Cody Rhodes retains, and this failure of the Tribal Chief brings out The Rock. The Rock is going to use some of his board member powers to make a match for SummerSlam in a tag team match. You and Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns and The Rock. It all leads to the very end of the match. You take out The Rock, and Cody Rhodes decides he's going to go crazy and try and beat Roman once again. I've got here that he hits him with that vertebraker, but I'm sure in reality it would probably be his triple crossroads. If they're gonna make the cutscene, do it. Make it the triple crossroads. That would be cool. Regardless, Paul Heyman distracts Cody Rhodes and the referee, allowing Jacob Fatu to come run in, attack. Now, I know, Jacob Fatu is not in WWE and most likely wouldn't be in the video game, but Jacob Fatu is awesome. We know Booker T has been advocating for him backstage a lot. They acknowledged him on the Bloodline family tree that they showed. I think that there is a real chance Jacob Fatu will be in the company eventually, at least. If you don't want to have Jacob Fatu, you can do Zilla Fatu. It's fine. We just need another member of the Bloodline coming in and debuting because Jimmy Uso has been kicked out. After being kicked out with nowhere else to go, Jimmy Uso goes to his brother Jay and they reconcile to reform the Usos. Eventually, we get to War Games. The Usos, Cody Rhodes, and your character going against the whole entire bloodline, Roman Reigns, The Rock, Solo Sikoa, and Jacob Fatu. I want this to be like an elimination style war game, kind of like WWE 12's final boss battle. I think that was a lot of fun and had a lot of cool cutscenes. So imagine that it's just the exact same as this. In the end, only your character is left standing against Roman Reigns. And this is kind of like a toss up. I think it might be cool for Jimmy to betray and it was a plan all along, but if not, Roman Reigns does defeat you. This leads to WWE Day 1, where you and Roman Reigns are going to go one-on-one, you and the Big Oos. Also at Day 1, Cody Rhodes defends the Universal Championship against The Rock, who starts coming out with Paul Heyman instead of Roman Reigns, and thanks to Paul Heyman, The Rock wins the Undisputed WWE Universal Championship. As both a board member and WWE champion, this is where we start to see The Rock really go crazy with power. He's being abusive to the other members of the bloodline. He's deciding matches as they go. He's starting to have a lot of confrontations with Triple H about the booking of certain things. And eventually it all comes to a head where you are banned from the Royal Rumble. And it seems like that's going to be it. There's no way for you to get into WrestleMania until Triple H is able to get you a spot in the Elimination Chamber. However, The Rock has already stacked the Elimination Chamber with a lot of his own Bloodline members because he wants the Bloodline to run WrestleMania. So you're going to have to defeat Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, and Cody Rhodes, who also qualified by beating Seth Rollins. Sorry, Seth. In the end, it comes down to you and Cody Rhodes, with you scoring the victory over him. You are now on officially the road to WrestleMania. With this, The Rock loses his mind. He fires from the bloodline pretty much every member and has a falling out with them. And he tries to use his power on the board to get you fired from WWE, but the board actually ends up impeaching him and kicking him out, meaning at WrestleMania, all he has left is the title. And that gets us to WrestleMania, you versus The Rock, and the final boss of this entire storyline going on. I think I would like to have some kind of crazy cutscene in there, and I even thought about making it where Stone Cold was like a special guest referee, but maybe that's just pandering. If y'all think that would have been cool, let me know down in the comments below. But you end up defeating The Rock, and you go on to be Universal Champion. From here, 2K can open it up and let it basically be a season mode, or you can export your player and take it up in universe mode, whatever they want to do. That's going to be it for this MyRise storyline with you going over as Universal Undisputed Champion. Maybe this will be what they do with the Undisputed storyline in 2K24. I don't know. I don't have the game yet, so we'll see what happens.